Hey everybody. So today I'm going to talk about the rules of golf and how they need to be adjusted for the top players in the world on the PGA and LPGA tour. So let's first talk about the general rules in golf. So golf is one of the only sports in the world where you have to official or be your own referee. Could you imagine watching football, basketball, or baseball when they have to call the penalties on themselves? What about like in baseball if the pitcher had to say that was a strike or that was a ball? It'd probably create a lot of chaos. Or maybe in basketball, saying that was a charge to lose the game. That is something that in golf you actually have to do. There are times and there have been circumstances where players have called penalties on themselves to lose a tournament. So golf was designed for honesty, and it's truly a gentleman's game from the beginning. You have to be honest with yourself for the integrity of the game, for yourself and for your competitors. But in today's world, the PGA and LPGA are held to higher standards than that. They now allow viewers or spectators to call in or email in penalties that they have observed during watching the telecast or in person. This is much different than how golf was meant to be played. The everyday player that may go out and play around a golf obviously does not have these cameras watching them. So it's unfair to hold the players at the very top to a different standard because they're truly not playing golf. They're playing a variation of golf because it's not just themselves that are having to call these penalties or their competitors calling these penalties. Now, not only is this different from the everyday player, but this is also different in the tour itself. So if you're in the last group, you're going to have more cameras on you. You're going to have more eyes watching everything that you do. So if you do something wrong, you're more likely to get caught, even if you did not do it on purpose. Now, these TV viewer calls in that call in are extremely hard to monitor. This is something that, in my opinion, should not be allowed because it's not fair to the player for someone that is not even present on the ground to call a penalty on them. 5 majors have been decided with rules decisions, from this being themselves calling penalties or, in 3 instances, viewers calling penalties on the players. And sometimes these penalties are not incurred until the next day because it takes the USGA, which is a ruling body of golf, to read these emails and truly go and evaluate the potential of these rules infractions. So since these cameras see, not only do these cameras see everything, but the viewership rate is increased as well. Over the past 10 years, 30% more people are watching golf. That is millions upon millions of more eyes watching the players in the last few groups. And 62% of professional players believe that TV call-ins should not be allowed. It's because it's unfair to those competitors. So let's look at an instance like in the last year's Masters. Sergio Garcia, who was at the time tied with Justin Rose on number 13 and took a drop. And when the ball landed, it wiggled a little bit after the ball came to rest. Now, under the rules of golf, if the ball moves, he incurs a penalty. But you could only see the slight wiggle under the slow motion camera. He could not even see it with his naked eye. And I believe he ended up not getting the penalty. But the fact that it was considered is still unbelievable because something that you can't see with the naked eye cannot be called on you. Now, another problem that we have is the rules are actually being reversed. So there are officials on the golf course telling the players what to do, especially in circumstances the player does not want to incur a penalty. They may call the official over to make sure they're going through the right procedures. Now, even though these rules officials can tell the player that, hey, it's okay, you have done the correct procedures, now they're allowing TV viewers to call in and say those procedures were wrong. And the USGA has penalized those players after the fact, even though the player was told he did the correct thing. Now, this occurred in the 2016 US Open with Dustin Johnson. He put his putter down behind the ball on the green, and the ball appeared to roll backwards, slightly. I mean, we're talking a 1-inch diameter ball, barely moving backwards. He was told by the official that he did not cause the movement, therefore he did not incur a penalty. But someone called in to the USGA and told Dustin, and they decided that he may incur a penalty. So Dustin Johnson was then told he may incur a penalty. And while he was leading the U.S. Open for 5 holes, he did not know his true score because they did not tell him. And it's not okay to hold these people, to hold the professional players to these standards. And it's not the game to allow someone to play with uncertainty. That is not the pure essence of the game of golf. It's too high of a standard and does not hold the honesty that is typically held within the golf. So, slow motion cameras and rules reversals, and now fans even calling it is not fair to those players. Golf should be an even playing field no matter what level you're playing at. If that means you're out playing with your buddies, playing for $5, or just for bragging rights, or playing a PGA Pro event. So what if the Patriots had won the Super Bowl last year, but 2 days later, the NFL re-saw the film and decided that someone's toe was slightly on the field. So there were 12 men on the field during the game. So they take the Super Bowl away and give it to the Falcons. Would that be fair, even though they've already celebrated and thought they won? Because this is what's happening in golf, and we need to change it, and we need to change it now.